Over the next few lessons, we're going to be creating this bracket design here. So, this design was created by first sketching out this somewhat complex sketch here. But we will see creating this sketch in Shapr3D is actually going to be quite a quick and simple process. So let's see how we can recreate this sketch. So first, I might just start off by drawing my three circles, one about here, one about here, and one about here. Of course, I might want to start by giving a correct location and then some dimensions for these circles. So for my bottom left circle, I'll tap to select the center point there. And what I like to do is usually start my design, say, on the origin right here. Now you don't have to do this, it's just kind of a personal preference, but it helps me keep my designs organized. If I'm happy with the location of that bottom left circle, I'll then tap the lock icon to lock that into place. Next, I probably want to give a dimension for this circle, so I'll tap to select the circle there, and I'll give a radius dimension of, let's say, 10 millimeters. Now I could repeat this process for my other two circles here, or I could select all three circles and use the equal constraint. So now all of these circles have that 10 millimeter radius. I'll move this bottom right circle into position somewhere about here, and maybe I'll just throw this one up here for now. But next, I'd probably want to throw in some exact dimensions between those circles. So from my origin point to the center point of my right circle there, I'll throw in a dimension of, let's say, 50 millimeters. And now if I'm happy with the location of that second circle, I'm going to lock that in as well. Similarly, I'll tap the center point of my origin circle to my top circle here and define that dimension as well. In this case, I will be using the absolute dimension, and again, I'll give it a value of 50 millimeters. And finally, the distance between the top circle and my right circle here, and I want that dimension to be 50 millimeters as well. So now we have the proper locations for each of my circles, and next I'll just sketch some simple arcs. So I'm going to draw an arc maybe somewhere like here, and somewhere about here. And then of course I'd like to connect those arcs to my circles, and I can do that by making use of my tangent constraint. So for example, I'll start with this arc and this circle. I'd like those to be tangent with each other. Same with that same arc and this lower circle, tangent, and same idea for all of my arcs here. So bottom arc and bottom circle here, tangent, bottom arc, circle, tangent, and same for my last arc, tangent, and the last tangent constraint here. So now, as we can see pretty quickly, we've almost created that fairly complex sketch. The last few steps is perhaps giving dimensions to my arcs here. So I'll tap on my bottom arc here. Maybe I'll give a radius value of, again, 50 here. And once more, I'd like that same radius for all three of my arcs. So I'll tap all three arcs and use my equal constraint. So now we can see we've pretty much finished off that final shape we needed to create my bracket. The last thing I might want to do is just trim away to clean up my sketch a little bit here. So I'll trim any of these sketch entities that I might not need. And now we have our finished sketch. Now that we have this sketch that will be the base of our bracket, in the next few lessons we will learn how to use this sketch to create our 3D design.